So, welcome to our webinar, Influencer Marketing is not a hype, it's a system. Today, we are going to, hopefully, to spark a little bit around how to officially best do influencer marketing. Because I know we all are discussing influencer marketing, it's very often a hype, but what's it actually? I truly believe it's a system, and if you're doing it correctly, you can gain much more than authenticity, rather than you can actually gain true reach and a lot of benefits for your brand. So today I'm here with Jan-Christoph Drexel. We are going to hear him shortly. But first of all, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I hope you get something tangible with us, with you today. And many of you probably haven't heard of Dentsu or know our brands, but not Dentsu. And who are we actually? So Dentsu is an agency holding. We've got a couple of agencies around the world truly reuniting, from creative to media to customer experience, tech, and also consulting. So whatever your issue is or your question, feel free to come to us and discuss with us. You might have an idea for us. So we're global in reach, local in scale. We've got over 1,000 influencer campaigns, which we are ideally analyzing with you today. Some of them we are showing you. And with that, I would actually move even closer to what we wanted to say. So you've heard it already, authenticity is quite important for me. I believe only if we have that, it's the only unmuted signal and the only way how we connect as a brand towards our audience. But that's not only me. So I'm Simona. I am doing integrated client solutions. So basically trying to unite everything we are offering to you. And with me here today is Jan-Christoph Drexel.
Huge appreciation for spending the afternoon with you, Simona. As you heard, my name is Jan. I'm managing partner at Dentsu Creative, and usually I'm guiding our clients through consultancy in terms of influencer social media and paid advertising on social media.
Cool. So shall we move into?
Absolutely, let's start.
Great. So we all know attention is the new flex. I mean, we have discussed it. We read a lot of articles. Attention is so important to us. And we all know attention, especially digital attention, is really decreasing quickly. So I truly believe we need to move away from just one doom scroll towards real attention, towards people really wanting to see our content, because we as a brand act with an authentic voice, good content, and actually a reason to stay. But we also know reach is decreasing very, very quickly. And when we think of social media, especially on Instagram, reach has terribly decreased in the past years. And the average reach is below 1%. So thinking of consumers, thinking of influencers, they all tell us they've got thousands of followers, but actually they only reach part of that, and an average less than 1%. So very often we need to spend a lot of money on paid reach. That's so incredible.
Sometimes too much.
Sometimes too less. And with that, we all know audiences. Very often we try to simplify audiences, but we are also always having a look into the deep audience, because there is not only one audience. Our audience is clustered. And the more we know about audience and more we know about how to cluster them, we reach a very diverse game, especially for brands. I mean, dynamic creative optimization is a thing we had quite for years now. Not so many people are actually doing it, and maybe we should. But who and how do we actually reach people through influencer marketing? Isn't that the thing? And also, what content?
So, to me personally, social media is the most interesting playground you can work at currently. So, just listen to advertiser spends in Europe or the US. So the platforms like TikTok and Amazon and Google. So in fact, all wallet gardens with social platforms actually do have more than 50% of digital spends in 2024, and there is much more yet to come. So whenever going for a work environment, it's per definition social and what makes content authentic on these platforms.
Absolutely. And especially if we even move further. So we talked about content, and we all know the conventional ad. I mean, even if we move even further, like real ads, like buy me, sell me, super performance driven ads, sometimes they can feel a little cringe in social environments. But we always believed it's a complete red flag, and it's actually not. If good advertising comes from influencers, it's actually something which makes people trust, even though it's an ad. So at the end, people read what interests them, and it can be an ad, as somebody very famous used to say. And with that, it's about the old school ad strategy. I mean, I said it's kind of cringe. Influencers could be a big yes, but only if it's done correctly. And I don't want to say that traditional and old school ad strategy is always cringe. It can be very good. And it's, I think, the same with influencer vibes. They can be really good if we have a good cultural fit. If the content is really good, it can be amazing. And we are here to save you from being cringe today, I would guess. So why influencer? I mean, we covered already in that short time a lot, but let's be honest. Influencer, I don't know, because I would even like to show you even more, because influencers can get more attention and more view time than standard ads. But how are we really doing that in a very meaningful way? I mean, it's about connections, it's about high attention. If we follow the right person, or if we follow people we really like, they're good in creating their content. So basically, they're content creators by nature. So maybe they are even an ad agency or a creative agency, because sometimes I can buy the whole package at an influencer. But in general, people outperform, or we can outperform with user-generated content. And especially when it comes to influencers, I mean, they're really trusted, and we see the figures are really proving it, that influencers can generate more view time, more trust, more content reliability. Influencers can foster trust. So 90% of people in social media trust their content creators more than the brand itself, as well as 79% of consumers are basically impacted by user-generated content before they actually buy. So of course it can be a friend, but of course it can be my friendly influencer and content creator I'm following. And actually, they are kind of connectors, right? They are expert in their subject matter topic. They're amplifiers. They tell us what brands, what products to watch out, what is happening there. And they're basically interconnecting a community of people who have the same topic they are interested in. So with that, social media and influencer platforms are basically something doing within creative powerhousing. What do you think?
I do absolutely agree. So, thank you, Simona. You did a great introduction, really brilliant. And yes, you're absolutely right. So, when it comes to advertisement and the advertising industry, you're absolutely right that social media is the place to be. For now, you mentioned the good old TV commercial already. These times are over. So when it comes to new narratives, all of these do actually happen on social media. Just have a look on current industry awards. Where do they take place? It's social media only. Might this be TikTok? Might this be Instagram or YouTube Shorts, right?
Oh yeah, I love them.
So whenever picking your job, go for social media, as you probably will have the most fun over there, as creativity is more or less endless. But let's talk about dangers. Let's talk about fails. Let's talk about what to respect and consider when actually working in that industry. So let's have a look together. I brought two assumptions for today's afternoon. And the first is, well, we all heard of influencers and huge success and great campaigns, but is a collaboration with an influencer a success by definition? I'm not sure.
Well, I know a couple of campaigns where I would say something's gone wrong. And I'm actually super curious if you've got one of them in your assumptions.
Maybe I brought one or two examples. Well, apologies for all the international viewers. My examples are more or less predominantly happened in Germany. Uh, but let's have a look on this one, the Milka example. So when Milka decided to run an influencer campaign, they just gave more or less no briefing to the influencer. And what they got in the end was actually a great aesthetic photo shot, a great model holding a product in its hand. So what they got was classic advertising. It could have worked on television, but it was executed absolutely wrong for social media. And in the end, it was just cringe, right? So the community of these girls obviously noticed it immediately that this was paid advertisement, and well, that shot definitely has gone wrong, right? And in the end, this is just not cringe only, it's a pain for the brand, and it can actually, well, smash your brand value, and we definitely can't need that in our industry.
Isn't it paid money for something you could easily create themselves?
Probably a lot.
And probably they could save a little bit of that efficiency, right?
I would say so. I would say so. So the second example is one of Adidas. So when Adidas decided to run a campaign on social media promoting also the FIFA soccer game, they sent an internal briefing to their testimonial. And what the influencer did is to take a Photoshop of its desk, but coincidentally photoshopping the internal briefing of Adidas as well and publishing it on social media. Can you believe this mistake?
That's so gone wrong.
Definitely, definitely. So you can see what the effect for Adidas and PlayStation and FIFA in the end was, and it can be quite critical to the brand, and this is not just a momentum effect. The next one, we all know these salty beef sausages, and well, many of us love them, but would you eat them in your bathtub? I'm not really sure.
I would probably have a tea, but not a beefy.
I would say so. I would say so. This is actually a great example of what happens when people do not get any guidance by agencies or maybe experts in that field, and you just let influencers go. So, well, I think we can say that influencers are experts in promoting the personal brand, but that actually doesn't necessarily mean that they are experts and, well, actually supplying a brand's needs. And from time to time, things go very, very wrong. Next example, one of Unilever's greatest examples in influencer history, when they, well, actually asked influencers to promote their detergent, Coral, without any briefing.
I remember that campaign.
I never read the briefing, but I'm really sure it could say, well, take our detergent into your bath, right? So the next one, there is a manufacturer of technical devices. In that case, it's Epilator, and we know that this device is working without battery only. But what we also found out that this device is pretty energy efficient as well, as you don't have to put it in the socket as well, right? So
Future-proof product.
future-proof, future-proof. So what you can see here is definitely a lack of quality management and quality assurance. So in the end, you always need to make sure that the influencers you just selected do a right job and actually fulfill your needs when it comes to your brand safety.
Me as a client, it shows I should definitely always check everything which is going to be posted before it's going to be posted, right?
I would say so, and I actually would expect, but many in our industry just don't do, and we highly advise to let influencer campaigns be guided by specialists,
Yes.
not just influencers. So I really must say that influencers are experts in promoting their personal brand, but when it comes to brand marketing, you really need to make sure that the contextual fit of influencers and your brand is really, really high. And having this in mind, we also notice that organic reach can't be the relevant factor. It's about authenticity. It's about protecting your brand and creating a narrative that people would love to hear and they want to spend time with.
And I mean, we have seen it thinking of reach. I mean, that's not much. So I could choose influencers which don't have that much reach because I would need to promote it anyway with paid media, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Let's move on to the second assumption, as I wanted to show you whether the paid industry is actually contradicting what we are doing in influencer marketing. Because in the first step of our presentation, we just said that it's all about authenticity and creativity. And does it necessarily mean that paid media is a red flag and shouldn't be part of our influencer strategy? Well, let's have a deeper look and find out.
Love it.
Wonderful. So, paid media definitely messes with your campaign's authenticity. That is our question. And well, I'm gonna start soft and slow with that Nielsen advertising study, which is gets actually updated every year. You probably know it's a famous one.
Yes. I always use their figures to basically discuss the whole ecosystem with clients.
Absolutely. And this study significantly tells us that roughly 65% of marketing outcome is driven by creative quality.
Yes.
So two-thirds of what you reach in your marketing is done by things that happen in your head and by narratives and credible stories.
Yes. It's about what we see as an audience. I mean, I don't care how
Sure.
somebody reach me, it's about what I see, right?
And you want to see and what you like. So, per definition, it's about context and creative, and it's about the brand strengths. And the rest is actually precision of targeting, recency, and media. Media represents more or less 1/5 of marketing efficiency, which means it's essential, but it's a multiplier.
Yes.
So it can't change your brand, but it's essential to multiply your message. So each and every part has its plays its significant role in that field, and we would like to find out when we should rely on what. So can you remember when walled gardens like YouTube and Meta started allowing ads on their platforms?
Oh, everybody hated that.
That was my question. So, can you still remember how much
Yes.
people hated
Yes,
that
even
development?
myself, working
Absolutely.
in
And I
advertising.
understand it. I understand it because the platforms actually taught us to, well, be free of advertising and just consume organic content that makes us laugh, right? That entertains us and makes us laugh, right? So, advertising, especially the traditional form of advertising, had no space on these platforms. And you know what? The same is still the case today. But what happened is the way advertisers do produce their content for these platforms. We do have a pretty nice Kantar media study showing us that in 2020, more or less 20% of all social media recipients accepted advertising. 1/5, well, I wouldn't say it's too much. Just a couple of years later, it's more than 45%, which is a great development. So, do you have any idea how that was possible?
I mean, I think it's the native integration, it's better content. I mean, our ads got better throughout the years. I truly believe we moved back to readable content rather than just addressing and shouting that we have the best product or the cheapest price. I think it's really, we started talking in a trustful, authentic voice
In
with
an
brands.
authentic voice, right?
We created brands who had an image. So I truly believe it's the authentic voice and the content itself which just got better.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. So, what advertisers did differently throughout the years is developing content that isn't classic advertising. They replaced it with authentic, credible, emotional stories, which is the right way. Because social media never showed any space for classic advertising, and it still doesn't today. So you need to change the way you communicate, and it needs to be authentic. And communicating authentically doesn't mean that you can work with influencers only. You need to make sure that their story fits perfectly into your brand's voice.
Yes.
So what we learn is that the paid label on social media isn't the problem. The problem is what brands presented for
Yes.
themselves on platforms. And when having this on your mind, you know that you can create authentic content, and you can use as much paid advertising as you want. You won't harm your marketing results, and you can use paid media as a perfect instrument in order to compensate expensive organic influencer reach.
Couldn't agree more. I mean, paid is just an amplifier, which we've just learned.
Right.
And therefore, paid just boosts the message to new places, and the task of media is to bring it to the right places and to the right people. But if the creative is good, if the content is good, we all love to have it. I mean, there was, I think, I'm not 100% sure who said that, but it's like there are 10,000 advertising contacts a day, and you can only remember 5 to 10 of them. It's so true, and I rather see good advertising with good content than just another shouty sales campaign.
You just made the perfect conclusion. Now let's dive into the next chapter of our today's presentation. I did my math, right? So I did some calculations with some different data in our databases. Well, I can't disclose the source of all these data, but trust me, it's authentic, reliable data, which I want to show you right now. So, when speaking about pricing in influencer marketing, many different voices tell you, oh, is it too expensive? Or no, it's absolutely justified. I do personally think no one can calculate the exact and fair price, but I think many of us just can tell when it's simply too much.
Yes.
And what we did with that calculation is actually giving you kind of orientation, what you are paying today. So let's have a look. What we did is creating a panel of different influencers with amounts of followers ranging between 50,000 to 1.2 million. So professional players in the field of influencer marketing. And what we did in order to find a unique benchmark is calculating the cost per 1,000 followers. And on average, we do have in the whole industry a pricing of roughly 90 euros, which is, I wouldn't say it's not a bargain, right?
It's a channel on the pricier side, right?
I would say so. I would say so. And the question we'd like to answer is that pricing justified, or is it cheap, or is it expensive, right? And in order to find an approach to get a little more narrow, we had a look at the reach rate for the reels. So what we did is setting the amount of organic views into relation with the amount of followers. Because the idea is when pricing for influencers follows their amount of followers, on the one hand, we could actually assume that followers do have a value for a brand and that pricing might be justified in that case. So in the end, I'd like to find out whether organic reach, what we pay for um, as advertisers, is actually reached. And our numbers show that roughly 28% of the influencers' followers are actually reached.
That's super high. Thinking of in the beginning of the presentation, we had on average a reach of less than 1%. So we already have top performing influencers there.
There are top performing influencers, but what we can also watch at is the reach rate for stories. And in that case, we're actually talking about 9%. So you do pay for 100% of your influencer followers in terms of organic reach. What you get is a reach rate of 9%. So the rest is just not there. The rest is not seeing your advertisers at all. That actually means that between 72 to 91% are actually overpaid. And when you do the math and rerun your calculation, you do get CPMs, or in that case, cost per 1,000 followers that you really reached that are actually in a triple or four-digit area space, right? And I would say, though no one can calculate the fair amount, I'm pretty sure that we all do agree that this is simply too much.
It's simply too much. Even that I reach people I can't reach with any other channel, it's still a little pricey.
And it definitely does not justify the marketing case.
No.
So marketing results can't be achieved by paying prices that high. So the organic reach of influencers is simply too thin and actually does not justify at all the demanded pricing in that influencer space. And for CMOs, this has definitely nothing to do with envy, but actually with their perspective on their marketing investment. So is the investment I do actually worth its money or simply not, right? So in the end, that actually means that authenticity, credibility, and believable stories are key in order to reach your marketing goals on social media. And as a marketing officer, you definitely shouldn't go for the influencers with a largest reach for two reasons. First is there is no guarantee that you actually hit the perfect spot between the influencer's narrative and your brand.
Yes.
The second is you probably will pay for something that does not exist, and you will pay a high price for that. Probably too much. And by doing so, well, we actually learned that the paid media label isn't an issue for consumers on social media. And with that information, we simply know that we can go for any influencer that actually shows the largest overlap with your brand, no matter this one has 1 million, 50,000, or maybe 2 followers, right? So that is actually the rational conclusion of that. And as we know, we can compensate a lack of technical reach with paid media,
Yes.
right? So, and the benefit of that is we can steer reach and we can optimize as we get way more metrics in order to steer our campaigns um, in when being dependent on influencers only, right? So, having that in mind, go for the best story. Never go for highest reach, as you can compensate with paid social anyways. So it's not that hard at all. Let's have a look at some practical examples we did in the past.
Yes.
In the first half of 25, we did create a collaboration with SodaStream, and in that case, we went for a very special testimonial called Lukas Podolski. Everyone knows him in Germany. But we did not choose him for his reach on social media. We did select him because we just found a huge fit of his personality and the brand. And what we did, in fact, is joining the creative video production with our own cameras, with our own video equipment, so that we as an agency were able to steer the story, but also create footage which we can edit for our clients' needs and publish it on our clients' owned channels. So, having that, we actually had 2 great benefits. We had organic reach, which we paid for, but we also had material footage for our own channels, which we can push with paid media the perfect way, right? And well, the metrics actually speak up for themselves as we had great view rates. And you know what? The view rates on organic and paid social reach were absolutely identical. There was no benefit in organic reach compared with paid
That's
metrics.
actually another proof people don't mind advertising.
As we use authentic content,
Yes.
right? As we use authentic content. Next example, we did an influencer campaign for Generali and DVAG, Deutsche Vermögensberatung. And
Fancy name.
how can you prove credibility for a product that many people actually do not want to spend time with? You know, there are experts, there are people who do have a passion, but I would say 95% of all people on that world do actually don't want to have anything to do with that.
I mean, you need to trust the stranger
That's the
with something
case.
which is the closest to you. It's your money, it's your health potentially, or your
Correct.
pension. So it's basically you're trusting, you need to trust somebody kind of your life.
And do you know what we did? We just casted real clients of
That's
Deutsche
cool.
Vermögensberatung. Yes, and you know what? Some of the largest influencers in Germany are clients of Deutsche Vermögensberatung, which is a super great case. So in that case, we were lucky as we did not select people for having a great reach. So we told you this isn't our goal. We chose people who can credibly talk about that topic. And when signing the contract, we made sure that we can join their production day with our own cameras, which gave us the opportunity to create a credible footage for Generali and DVAG as well. So you, on the one hand, had the influencer campaign happening on influencers' channels, but the same footage, the same visibility, the same credibility, the same kind of communication happened on the social channels of DVAG and Generali in a super consistent way. And as you can see here, we were able to post-produce a ton of different videos, making sure that the whole campaign appears in a consistent way. Next example, and I swear we're done then, but it's really a good one, and I want you to know that. One of our clients, Blanc 1664, just launched a beer in the course of last year. And, Germany is a nation of beer drinkers, and we do have thousands of different beers throughout the whole country and a huge tradition. So when launching a new beer, which in fact isn't a German one, well, that's actually a tough story, right?
I mean, Deutsche Reinheitsgebot.
I'm telling you, I'm telling you. So, what we did in the first step is doing a brand positioning, which has nothing to do with the German tradition, but with, a lifestyle environment. And what we did in the second step is, well, collaborating with credible influencers who acted as testimonials. The thing is, in that case, these influencers, well, do not have large organic reach, but what they do have a certain lifestyle which we wanted to assimilate with our brand. And in the end, these influencers acted as testimonials and gave us the opportunity, as we co-joined their video production as well, and again to create footage and images which allowed us to, well, actually broadcast and publish it on any other media which was relevant in that media planning. So I would like to sum up our day and our afternoon today. I think we learned that influencer and especially social media marketing is all about credibility and authenticity. And when we know some brands more or less are able to create credible footage and contextual content, and in case you don't, you always need to go for experts which can guide you through the whole process. And today we learned that the best influencers aren't the ones with largest reach, but the ones that overlap with your brand the most, as we can compensate any gaps in reach with paid social media a pretty efficient way. The paid label has never been the issue. So, in case you would like to learn more about that topic, just reach out to Simona and me, and we are happy to see you in person.